Welcome to County Magazine, a chance to find out what's new across Fairfax County. I'm Bryan Ashby. On this edition, we'll explore resources for recovery in our mini-series on hoarding. We'll meet a hero without a cape, public health nurse Jennifer Callahan, and we'll discover the legal services and resources on offer at the county's Domestic Violence Action Center. Plus, a tour of the Park Authority's Colvin Run Mill with two very special guides. Domestic violence is a dire public health problem that affects residents from all walks of life. Luckily, Fairfax County's Domestic Violence Action Center helps with a range of legal services to assist survivors of domestic and sexual violence in becoming whole again. Take a look.
In domestic relations, we will assist clients with any type of protective order that involves family or involves children. Many of them are intimate partner protective orders that's either between a husband and wife or between two people who have a child together or two people who have lived together recently. But it can also be protective orders where an adult files on behalf of a child alleging some type of abuse of the child. Or it can be a protective order between two adult family members. Sometimes, unfortunately, a parent will have to file against an adult child because that person has mental health issues or substance abuse issues and is causing harm to the family. Or we also get ones that are between two juveniles, either kids who are fighting at school, or it can be a romantic relationship between two juveniles that has turned violent.
Well, there's several different types of protective orders that can be obtained by victims. One is the civil protective order that they can go to a magistrate, fill out a complaint, and that is an affidavit that they will sign saying that this is what happened and that it is true. They also may have what they call an emergency protective order. And that way something can be in hand that day from a magistrate so that the victim and the family can be protected, and then another court date will be set.
Legal Services of Northern Virginia is the basic bread and butter legal aid for all of Northern Virginia. So we help with civil legal services for people who are low income, elderly, or disabled. We see people at various stages, but it's usually when they have some kind of legal issue or legal questions. So sometimes it's because they've had a court case filed against them. Sometimes it's because they have filed or want to file for a protective order or for custody or divorce or something else. But other times they're thinking about leaving and they want to know what their legal rights might be when they do. DVAC has several civil legal partners who help with different aspects of a client's legal journey. LSNV is the civil legal aid. We provide the broadest range of services, but the one thing that we don't help with is immigration law. And we don't do that because we have such great partners in other nonprofit law firms in Northern Virginia, like IUTA, who is a DVAC partner, and Tahoe Justice Center, also a DVAC partner. Fairfax County is a jurisdiction that has many, many immigrants, and it's not uncommon that an abusive party will use their partner's immigration status as yet another tool to abuse them by withholding documents, withholding a signature on documents, or blatantly lying to them about how easy it might be to have them deported. And so we can refer to IUTA, and then they can take it from there and work on the various immigration relief options that the victim might have. There's also JCADA, the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Abuse, and they partner with us to help the clients that are over income for us or we might not be able to serve for civil protective orders in Fairfax County.
In the main scheme of things, as long as people know that there are other people out there willing to help, trying to make this person or this family whole again, I think that is the main goal. And if we can achieve parts of that, that's great.
Next on County Magazine, meet Jennifer Callahan, a public health nurse and tuberculosis case manager with Fairfax County. Join Jennifer for an inside look at nursing and the rewards that come from doing one of the county's most critical jobs.
My main job duties as a tuberculosis case manager nurse is to assess clients that potentially have TB or have active TB. So that means that I screen all clients from hospitals or doctor's offices if there is a suspect that they may think has tuberculosis. We also screen all immigrants entering the U.S. that have abnormal x-rays. And then I care for all clients that have active tuberculosis. One thing that inspired me was, as a little child, I was born with a congenital heart defect and spent time at Children's Hospital in DC. And I think just having that experience and being around nurses in the hospital setting as a child kind of made me want to try to explore that field more. When I first started nursing, I worked in OB, and then as my priorities changed, so did my nursing career. So I've worked in public health now, it'll be close to 16 years. I started off in other areas of public health, and about 5 years ago, the opportunity was presented to me. I wanted to get back to hands-on nursing where I actually got to take care of the patients myself, and I was like, this is my opportunity to do it. What I love most about tuberculosis nursing is I get to be with these patients for 6 months, 9 months, sometimes a year, until they become cured. And so I get to really know them. I'm in their home. And so not only do I meet them, but I meet their family and I meet their kids or their parents. I'm treating the family as a whole and not just the client. To be a TB case manager, I feel like you have to have solid clinical skills. When you're in somebody's home, there's not that level of support. There's not other nurses there, and there's not somebody I can consult with. Now, I can always get on the phone if I have something that I can't answer on my own. But you have to have that clinical skill to make that decision, make it quickly, and feel confident in your decision. One of the reasons that public health was appealing to me when I started was just like the work-life balance. I went from working holidays and weekends, and when I started my family, I didn't have to work holidays. I didn't have to work weekends. I could make every soccer game. I could make every baseball game. And so for me, that was huge. There were so many benefits to coming to work for the county, knowing that I could then bounce having my kids at home. I would highly recommend nursing. Nursing is one of those careers where you can work in a hospital, you can work in a doctor's office, you could go into research, you could go into public health. So there's so many avenues that you'll eventually find your niche. You'll find what speaks to you. And that's not always hospital nursing. It's certainly not always public health nursing. But for all new grads, I know that they will find their area or an experienced nurse. Just give it a try. I think sometimes people may think like, oh wow, she did all of this. But to me, it's just my job. It's what's expected of me, and I'm gonna give it 100% because I mean, it's their life. Like, I'm only here for the next 6 months to a year, but to them, it's the rest of their life.
Hoarding is defined as the extreme and persistent collection of possessions or trash inside a home that creates a dangerous and unhealthy living situation. In the final installment of our mini-series on hoarding, experts discuss resources available to residents to get them started on their road to recovery. Here's more.
Hoarding is occurring in communities across the United States, and for many, they need help digging out. If you are living in a hoarding situation or want to help someone who is, there are many options for assistance. The first step is finding and utilizing available resources. Local government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and private industry can be the change catalyst needed to return to a safer lifestyle. Additionally, housing laws may offer some benefits to renters diagnosed with hoarding disorder.
As Rental Housing Service Coordinator with the Department of Housing and Community Development, my job is to connect residents to resources to encourage safe and healthy households. As part of the Affordable Housing Program, we require regular inspections to ensure homes meet housing quality standards set by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Each unit must pass inspection before residents can occupy the home and will continue to be inspected. Hoarding, however, can lead to lease violations, which can put residents at risk of a suspended housing subsidy or even eviction. When violations are observed, housing staff works with the resident to develop an action plan so the home can pass inspection. Our goal is to ensure all residents are treated fairly and are offered the reasonable accommodations they need.
Nonprofits and local governments offer assistance for hoarding, which are compiled on Fairfax County's hoarding website. Highlights include emergency shelter options if you should find yourself homeless because of hoarding, home repair grants and loans with downloadable applications, services for older adults to qualify the individual for additional resources, meal services, and volunteer solutions, local support groups for individuals and families, services for individuals experiencing hardship, including financial aid and utility turn-on assistance, trash and recycling programs, including special pickups, a list of nearby donation centers, resources for animal care and welfare, mental health providers, industrial cleaners, or professional organizer search engines, and much more. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance for hoarding conditions, please don't hesitate to access Fairfax County resources by visiting our website. To inquire about government intervention, please call Code Compliance for assistance. Help is within your reach. You too have the power to create change.
Hypothermia is caused by prolonged exposure to cold temperatures, causing the body to lose heat faster than it can be produced, and dropping the core body temperature to 94 degrees or less. To help ensure that no one sleeps outside during the winter months, risking hypothermia, a collaborative effort by the county, nonprofits, and faith communities created the Hypothermia Prevention Program. Through this program, more than 1,000 homeless people had a warm, safe place to sleep and a healthy meal. The Hypothermia Prevention Program provides hundreds of additional beds beyond those available in emergency shelters. If you see someone at night who is unsheltered, please call the county's non-emergency phone number.
Fairfax Pets on Wheels is an all-volunteer pet therapy organization that provides companionship and an improved quality of life for residents in participating long-term care facilities in Fairfax County. To learn more and to find out how you can volunteer with us, visit fpow.org. Come join us. You'll touch someone's life and change your own.
The Park Authority's Colvin Run Mill is the last surviving and operational 19th century grist mill in the Washington metropolitan region. Recently, Park Authority Director Jay Cole met up with County Executive Bryan Hill for a stroll around the grounds and a look at one of the county's most valued treasures.
I'm here at Colvin Run Mill with County Executive Bryan Hill. I'm so excited to be here. I don't play favorites in my park system. However, this is one of my favorite parks. It was actually the site of my very first field trip as a child and the first time I ever rode a school bus. And so this site is really near and dear to my heart. And I'm really excited to walk around with Mr. Hill today.
Well, I took this tour in 2018 when I first came to Fairfax County as a county executive, and Mike Henry was in charge of the park. And he took me through every single space and every single nook and cranny. And he made this more as a family and a home as opposed to just a tourist attraction. And his generosity and sincerity made me always think about Colvin Run Mill. Well, general store is always nice. You know, she can buy me some grits. Wink, wink. And the house has been restored, and the working mill. I think those are the main things here. But, you know, like I said, she can buy me some grits. I believe parks are vital to the community because people need to get outside. COVID-19, 20, 21, 22, we've stayed inside too long, and the peacefulness and the serenity here is something that should be valued and appreciated. And we do a great job here in Fairfax County with these parks. And, you know, under the leadership of Ms. Cole, we have 420 options, and this is just one of the many options that we have.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of County Magazine. Thanks for joining me. Remember, there are countless ways to get involved in your community and make Fairfax County an even better place to live, work, and play. And one of the most important ways is to be a good neighbor. So reach out to the folks in your community this season and find out how you can help. I'm Bryan Ashby, and we'll see you next time on County Magazine.